Just drop that ass, bitch. It's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. Open micers in the house. Open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig. I'm going to be struggling through this intro because I had spaghetti for dinner and I'm currently drinking a coffee like I'm in Venice, fucking Italy or some shit. And my stomach can't handle it. I've almost shit myself 5 times in the 10 seconds I've been sitting in this chair, dude. It's going to be an issue tonight. We're running late. My daughter had a fucking giant meltdown. It's a full moon tonight, by the way, which fully plays into the theme of the month. All right, we're doing horror month here for October on the OpenMicersPodcast, and you know, every guest that we have on does something horror related, has something horror related about them. This guest is goth. That's all they've got. It's the one and only local comic. She is actually the current reigning champion of the Roast in the Coast roast battle here on the coast of Mississippi, Rachelle Lopez. How you doing?
Hi guys, shalomi, big homies. I'm good. I'm great. It's always weird hearing people say that. They're like, "Oh, the roast battle champ," blah blah blah. When I was just doing that shit in school to get through, like,
right?
It was a coping mechanism back then. Yeah, for real. Like, you get bullied down here, so you gotta be quick.
Right. No, you do get bullied down here a lot. Did you get bullied down here like more? Like, what school did you go to down here?
I went to Central Middle School and then Gulfport High.
Okay, so maybe you didn't get bullied that much, but like I'm from Van Cleve, so like you would have gotten bullied just for being like the only Latin kid here.
Yeah. It's like a race thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the goth Latin kid.
So I wasn't really goth back then. It was scene. It was a whole different thing. It was embarrassing, actually. Way more embarrassing than this. Back in the Gap, right? I don't know if you guys ever heard of Blood on the Dance Floor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a whole fucking thing. That was like my guy, my jam. He looks like a girl and a guy. That's when I found out I was bisexual. He had longer hair than me, and he sang about pirate pussy and stuff. It was weird. Definitely needed therapy.
Yeah, I played bass for Pirate Pussy back in the 90s, so, you know.
God, that's lit, actually.
Pirate pussy, dude. You got to eat an orange like before you go down on her.
Yeah,
so you don't get scurvy.
Fuck.
I didn't know scurvy was an STD, so we learned something new.
Yeah, why do you think everyone on the boat got it? It's a small boat.
Just eating ass. It's like a Diddy party but on a boat.
Baby.
Oh my God. Diddy would love the pirate life. He'd be on that boat fucking it up.
Yeah, he would, dude. He could still be a pirate, like a Somalian pirate.
Yeah. He probably has been. He probably's been on one of those like cruises or whatever and was like, okay, call me Pirate Diddy.
Yeah.
Now drink this baby oil.
Look at me. I'm the captain now. This is my fucking boat. Yeah, I'm very glad to have you here making your podcasting debut, by the way.
Yeah.
Always fun. Yeah, we like having on like you know, people young in their comedy journey, but especially people who are like putting new blood on the Mississippi scene, because we get like a class of new comics once every like 2 to 3 years. So it's like when someone's actually coming up and like you know, doing big things like winning the Roast on the Coast thing. I think you won a spot performing at Comedy House NOLA, shit like that. Yeah, it's exciting.
I did. Yeah, it is. It's super, super exciting. It's super humbling too, because like I'll hear people talk about how they've been doing stuff for like 6-7 years and how like, you know, they'll tell me that my shit's good and I'm just some nervous kid that does it for fun kind of. And I'm like, fuck, well, you know, that makes me put a respect to the craft, you know what I mean? And not just bullshit through it, but actually like, you know, buckle down and try to make shit that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought you were about to be like, yeah, it's humbling that people have been doing it for 7 years, and I'm so much better than them already.
No, 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 no. I'm a humble man, I promise.
So when you performed at Comedy House NOLA, what was that like performing in like an actual legit comedy club in an area where we have like one that you can drive to when you're not even a year into comedy yet, are you?
I would say like March, but I've only done the juke joint, so that's like once week. You know what I mean? So that's not really as often as other people that have had years in because they'll go to multiple spots and
Yeah.
shit. Uh, so yeah, it's a little bit over a year, but it was nerve-wracking for sure. Actually, I misunderstood when Crangus was like, "Hey, let's go down there." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm just gonna watch." And he's like, "No, bro, like you're next." I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I gotta think of something real quick. Um, so yeah, that was pretty much winging it there too. And then we went to another show after, a little open mic, kind of hole in the wall, and I killed it that one because I felt like I got that practice from the other house. So it was cool. It was cool still being able to like brush off because sometimes you lose, sometimes you bomb and look like a fucking idiot, but like sometimes you can brush it off and shine it up next time.
Yeah.
Was this open mic that you went to afterwards? Were there like, was it like an actual bar with people there, or was it like one of the secret open mics that the New Orleans comics talk about?
It was just a bar that people were at, but it was still like, five people. So like it was pretty fucking small and it was mostly like me just talking shit about how we were both there on a Wednesday with nothing to do. Like, what the fuck's wrong with us?
Yeah. Yeah. I went to one after a show in NOLA one time. I took Patty Dwyer with me and we fucking definitely thought we were gonna get murdered. We're like, oh, the New Orleans comics pranked us. Like there's literally like bars on the windows, but like thick fucking metal bars on the windows of this place that we're going into. We walk in, it's just the staff there and the guy hosting the open mic. And like the only people that come are the other like comics that told us to come to this thing afterwards. And we're like, what the fuck is this? Like, we're sitting there playing a card game like 30 minutes after it was supposed to already start. And the host is like, yeah, I guess we'll just fucking go do the thing. And what the entire thing was is like, this whole venue or whatever was an opportunity for like certain New Orleans comics to like talk shit about everyone else on the scene, like on stage and make jokes about them. And so they're doing like shit that's killing about people I don't know, about how they're like fucking sucking people off to get spots or whatever the fuck they're doing. And and then I try to do like a new 5 minutes I'm working on to just dead silent comics playing phase 10 at one fucking
For
table.
real. That's crazy,
So
dude.
was this a
Like
bar
Not
or
just
was this
sucking dick
just
to
was this a bar or was this just like somebody's house that you went to?
the trap
it was
house
like
in New Orleans.
it really was. It was in a residential area, but like we walk in and there's like it's like someone's house but with an industrial kitchen in the back.
Jesus fuck. Who's sucking dick to get spots? Like that's crazy to me. Like,
Some
I don't
guy.
know. Some guy,
Yeah,
always
it was
some
a
guy,
guy.
literally always, always some guy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild as fuck. I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. You could be funny, but sucking dick works too. Like,
Yeah, I think sucking dick might work better because I've tried being funny. It hasn't worked out well. Maybe I should start sucking dick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got me kind of far, I guess. Like, life could be worse. Like,
What has sucking dick
yeah, I
or
mean,
being
every
funny?
woman could say that.
Oh,
We'll say both. We'll say both.
yeah.
Well, if you can do
We'll
that
call it both.
and be funny at the same time, then you really got something.
Then you can open for
Hey,
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
sometimes sucking dick is funny. I mean,
Yeah.
really funny.
So like when you're working on material, like you mentioned, sucking dick's funny. There are some things that are like objectively pretty funny. Like every guy has a dick joke. I feel like every lady has a sucking dick joke. Do you like? I understand you're young in comedy and everything, but are you ever like, maybe I shouldn't make the like obvious sucking dick joke just because I can?
Yeah, at first, so like when I first started, I was like super crude, but it was all about stuff that had actually happened to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just that kind of person. Like, I went to the Marine Corps, fucking always been rough and tough and disgusting. Not like herpes, but you know what I mean? Just, not fucking, not a girly girl. Um, so when like my jokes, I've always joked like that, and I never wanted to be like the Amy Schumer, you know what I mean? Like, okay, she's just known for being fucking vile and gross, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like, I mean, there are some people that profit from that shit. But like, I wanted to be like funny because I was funny. It's just like if I get nervous and I don't know what to say, a dick sucking joke always works, and so you just pull that out the hat. People give you a laugh, a little boost of confidence, move on to the next joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess there's
That's
nothing
true.
wrong with throwing out a good little hacky joke if you know it's going to get a pop. If the room's kind of dead, go for it.
You would think that, Jason.
I know it because I do it.
I mean, but for
There's
real,
nothing
like
wrong with just being a complete fucking hack.
Yeah, no shit.
just going at it. But like honestly, because there are sometimes like I'll sit in the back of the room and just watch other comics go up, and like things that are normally funny on a normal day, nobody's laughing at. And then like it takes that one person to come in and be just vile, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's hilarious," because they're saying something nobody else did. I mean, sure, a million comics have done it, but like it's kind of in the moment type stuff. Like I definitely know that long term, that's not something I want to do, but you know, I feel like you got to get to where you're going somehow. And so you got to start somewhere. And so I'm just kind of picking up what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being in Mississippi too, it's like the humor here is so weird. It's like weirdly unique. Like, and depending on where you're at too, like the juke joint that the open mic is at, like if you went in there and did just like 5 minutes of like pure like redneck jokes, like a Chad Prather or like a Rodney Carrington, it wouldn't go over well because that's not the crowd for that. But like anywhere else in Mississippi, that shit would fucking crush. But like
Yeah.
you also don't want to be clean because then you're like no one's gonna pay attention to you. So you have to be fucking you have to be dirty and you have to have dark humor. But then if you're not good at doing that because you've been doing comedy for however long, then you immediately alienate the entire audience. They're like, ew, like it's so weird.
Right.
Like the people in Mississippi are like they want to hear dirty shit, but they want to be uppity about it at the same time.
You got to do it with class. Like that's how they want to see it. They want to see it wrapped up nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
don't
feel like
I
I feel like the way the crowds have been lately at the juke joint. I think the redneck jokes might go over pretty well there now.
They are. That's why I keep saying them. Like that's why I keep saying how much I love my white guys and how they got 401ks. Like white guys love that. They're like, I got a chance. She's looking at us. I'm like, I am. I see you.
yeah, dude. I love that's a good way to start a set. I love my white guys.
I love them. You know what I mean?
White boys only.
Yeah, but if I start the
I
set
mean,
like that, it's not going to go over as well.
well, I mean, depends on if the bikers are there or not. They might be like, "We feel you, brother.
Yeah.
We feel
Yeah, we
you."
got you. One of us, man. One
He's
of
like, "That's what I've been
us.
saying the whole time."
we feel the same way, dude.
Actually, there was this one time at the Jew. We were chilling, and this guy walks up to us, and he's like, got a vest on and shit. He's a biker, whatever. And he's like, "Who's got weed?" And so nobody says anything, obviously, because we don't know you. And he's like, "I'm trying to smoke with someone. Like, come outside." And we're like, "Oh, okay, sure, we'll hang out with you." We're hanging out with this guy, and then we're looking at his vest, and I see he has a swastika like on his vest. I was like, well, I do know he might be racist, but I do know this is a good deal because I didn't have a blunt before, and I do now.
I thought you were going to say that like he got y'all to come outside, and then as soon as you step out, he's like throwing cuffs on you, throwing you in the back of the
Jesus.
police car.
No, no, no. I would fucking run so fast. I'm like, I'm
Like,
not
I'm
going to
fast as
jail.
fuck, boy. They'd never catch me.
Fast as fuck, boy. The people I was hanging out with, I could probably outrun most of them, yeah. So we're good.
That's the key is to just always keep slower people around you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dumber people who aren't going to react, the ones that are going to talk to the cops and be like, oh, we could talk our way out of this. Fuck no. Fuck no. My last name is Lopez. I'm fucked. I gotta go. Like,
So speaking of white guys, that's who you were hanging out with. Was just white guys.
yeah,
They're
just
like,
white
we'll
guys.
talk about
Pretty
this,
much.
officer.
Yeah, there's a misunderstanding. We bought this weed.
Yeah.
Like,
Officer, please, there's a thin blue line bumper sticker on my Ford F-150.
right. Blue Lives Matter, bro.
Well, I will say, and this is horror month. I wanted to talk comedy a little bit, but before we transitioned over to that. But Rachel, you are definitely probably the only comedian out of this new class that actually gives me any hope. So, thank you so much for actually choosing to be a part of the Mississippi comedy scene, because
Oh yeah,
we're
it's an
kind of
honor.
fucked judging from everyone else.
Yeah. And that's not like him bragging on me. That's just continuing on how fucked we are. Like,
We're
Jesus.
fucked.
Fact.
There's a story that I could tell because I am kind of salty about it, but I don't think I'm going to air it out on this episode. I might talk about it the next host episode. But
I think you already talked
Ooh, he
about
said
it on
stay
the last
tuned.
episode, if I'm not
no,
mistaken.
that was before the show.
Oh, okay. All right. I should have recorded
Yeah,
that
so-
and then just put it out as like a little extra thing.
Well, I mean, I'll talk about it later, but basically, like I've been now. Listen, I've learned something about myself lately. It's that I don't suffer any fools when it comes to comedy. I just don't. I don't have the bandwidth for it, because when I see someone like do comedy so poorly, like fucking so poorly, and then go on the back porch afterwards and like not only like think that they fucking crushed it, but like start talking with them about comedy, and they're disregarding everything that you're saying and then like trying to give you advice, when I'm like,
Right.
brother, you basically just fucked my woman in front of me worse than I could have fucked her. Like
Right.
that.
You wasted a condom. Like,
Yeah, you wasted a fucking condom. Like, I just suffer no fools. So I have been critical about certain comedians lately, but yeah, I'm not confident with where the Mississippi scene is right now.
but
But
also like I feel like you have to be like you have to kind of keep a craft a little bit to have respect for it. You know what I mean? Because if everybody could be a part of it, because like I hear that all the time. Like I'll be there and invite people for an open mic set or something, and then somebody else would be like, "Oh, they should do comedy too," and I'm like, "Sure, anybody can be funny." I'm like, "Of course, anybody can make you laugh, but that doesn't make you a comedian. You have to do other things. Like there's thought to it. There's purpose to it." So yeah, I get it. I get it. Like, but there's also room for criticism. If you can't take criticism, then you're never gonna grow. Like if you can't
yeah,
have another comic who has experience telling you like, hey, that wasn't so great, maybe try this set, or hey, what are you doing so I can kind of help you. You gotta put your ego aside for sure.
yeah, that's the main thing. That's the main thing, is people putting their
Yeah.
egos aside and stop lying to yourself too. Like, I'm honest with everybody. Don't be dishonest with yourself. That's a mistake that 100% of young comics makes. Like, it didn't go great, buddy. Don't just be
Right.
honest. We all know how it went.
Yeah, I'm the harshest on myself for real. Like I'll tell my friends, I'm like, that was trash. And they're like, no, it was good. I'm like, bro, you didn't even laugh. I was looking at you, bitch. Like, don't lie
Yeah,
to me. I know. But you have to realize like you're not the star of the show all the time. Like you're not headlining for shit. It's not your fucking comedy show. You're just on an open mic 9 times out of 10, and like that's okay. Like just work on it. Just take it for what it is.
yeah, yeah. And that's why I have fucking the utmost faith in you right now, because I mean you're sitting here saying all the right things. Like, you do need to be critical of yourself. You do need to know when to take advice, and yeah, just hone your craft, and you'll be amazing at comedy on a long enough timeline. Like, that's all anyone has to do to be good at comedy. On a long enough timeline, everyone will be fantastic at comedy if you just hone your fucking craft. But yeah, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say, I guess. Just
He's like,
fuck
my
every
rant is
comic in
over.
Mississippi. No, I'm kidding.
No,
And just
fuck your bitch and click your
yeah,
claim.
you
No.
actually have to work on your comedy. You can't just, wear a Kill Tony hat and think that you're funny. You know, like it doesn't work like that.
And now everyone knows who we're talking about if they're on the local scene.
Put him in a coffin. Jesus.
Yeah, you can't just show up in a Kill Tony hat. You and your fucking weird autistic friend heckle other comedians who've been trying to do it for 7 years, headlining before you even fucking started, and then try to give them advice like you're fucking somebody. You can't fucking do that. But anyways, we'll move on now because this is a discussion for a future episode.
The children are scared.
Craig
it was really him having a breakdown. It's really him. He was saying earlier he was late because his daughter had a breakdown, but it was him. Like he was in the bathroom. He's like, "This is not okay."
Yeah, I was kicking and screaming, crying.
Right. She was like, floor. "Dad, you have a podcast. Like, get up.
You get it together. Just eat your fucking spaghetti and get it together." Jesus Christ.
At the beginning of the episode, I thought that you were going to say that your daughter smashed you in the face with some spaghetti. I didn't know you were going to say you ate it.
Dude, so here's the thing. All right. I made spaghetti. I made fucking spaghetti. She likes fucking spaghetti. She didn't want to eat the spaghetti. Why do you think that she didn't want to eat the spaghetti? Just one good guess from each of you. Why could she have possibly not wanted to eat the fucking spaghetti?
Because she hates you.
All right, that's the ringer so far. That's pretty fucking close. Jason, what do you think?
She didn't want to eat the spaghetti because Mom didn't make it. You made it.
Well, no, because I always cook because
he was like, she can't cook.
She makes more money than me, so I always cook. That's like, just the trade-off. She didn't want it. Me in the ass.
She didn't want it because it wasn't on her favorite plate. That's why she didn't want it.
You know what? That's a good psychology, but she didn't want it not because the food was cold, but because she was cold. She didn't want to eat spaghetti because she was cold. She refused to put on clothes. She wanted to eat the spaghetti while having a blanket on her, but she didn't want to take her arms out of the blanket to eat the fucking spaghetti, so she wanted me to shove it down her fucking gullet for her, and we're not doing that over here.
We're not doing that over here.
I mean, to be fair, Jacob, who doesn't want to be wrapped up in a blanket and fed spaghetti?
Right.
It sounds wonderful to me.
But I'm not raising fucking Emperor Cusco.
So really,
I'm not gonna feed her spaghetti.
What it was you hate her. Because if you loved her, you'd feed her spaghetti.
You heard it here first.
Jacob,
I
see where it comes from.
When your daughter goes back, after you're dead in a few years and goes back and listens to this podcast, she'll hear that, you hated her. So that's where that started.
Yeah, I love how you added
you
a
heard
few
it here,
years.
Yeah.
when you're dead in a couple years, when someone in a Kill Tony hat guns you down in the street in a couple years because they've had enough of your shit.
Oh,
for real.
That was fucking funny. Oh shit.
Yeah, anyone who has a toddler knows that they just get in a mood sometimes where there's nothing you can do to fucking help them. She's just in that mood. There's nothing you can fucking do to help her. She just got to figure it out herself. That's it. That's why I was late.
Ask my girlfriend. I go into toddler moods too. I'm a 47-year-old man. I go into toddler fits all the time around here.
Because you can. Because you can. I was mad the other day, literally flailing my arms and shit because I couldn't find where I put my socks. Like, bro, what the fuck? My boyfriend's like, "Are you good?" I was like, "No, buddy, nothing's okay. I gotta go to work. What the fuck?"
Well, here's some socks. I don't want to wear those socks.
Those are the socks I want.
These weren't the ones I had earlier, bro. These are different.
Her thing now, when I try to help her or like give her any solution that's not like the perfect fucking solution for her, she goes, "But you don't even care about your own daughter?"
Damn, she's dramatic.
Gaslighting.
Wow.
Just gaslighting me. I'm like, I'm just trying to put your fucking pants on. Jesus Christ.
Dude, you think it's bad now. Wait till she's a teenager. She's already honing those skills now. Holy shit.
Thank God I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, you'll be dead by then.
Thank God. She's gonna be emotionally abusing some poor 16-year-old boy in high school, driving him up a fucking wall. It's like, you don't fucking love me?
Oh.
He's like, girl, this is the third date.
Oh, that's how our parents met. Such a sweet love story.
Some poor 16-year-old kid's like feeding her SpaghettiOs while she's wrapped up in a blanket. That's just how it's gonna be.
Oh my God. She's like, my dad used to do it for me. Why can't you?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
man.
Well,
Yeah,
speaking of
dude.
Halloween, I don't know if you guys, speaking of comedy/horror, I watched the first two Terrifier movies over the last week or so. Have you guys seen these movies?
no.
No, I haven't.
Holy shit! you
Are
want to
they
see?
good?
They're some of the most intense like gore I've ever seen in a movie.
I love gore.
But the thing is, like, the first one, not so much, but the second one, like, there's actually some really, like, funny. That's the thing about Art the Clown. Like, he's funny, but he does the most fucked up shit I've ever seen in a movie. And I'm like, I can't reconcile this in my head. Like, how does this happen?
That's sick. I want to see that. I love gore. I love like Saw and stuff. I grew up like really fucked up, so I like that stuff. Uh, but I don't know. I just didn't see any of like the classics growing up because my parents also sheltered us, so we weren't allowed to like watch anything until we were old enough. And then like once Saw came out, I was probably like 16 when it came on TV, and so I was just binge watching a bunch of Saw.
Did they think like horror movies were like literally the devil?
Well, so like they just hated us. They hated anything that brought us joy, to be real. Like, I could go on for ages about the awful things that my parents did to us. Like, I read this book called A Child Called Named It, and it's like an abusive biography. Like, he had an abusive childhood, and he wrote an autobiography about it. And it's awful. Like, they did terrible things to him. And my mom made me read it, and then she was like, "It could be worse. You could be him." I was like,
Jesus.
damn, bitch, that doesn't mean you get to be a cunt. Like,
Here, you
so
think
yeah,
I'm
those
bad?
were my
Read
horror
this.
stories.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
And then the Bible afterwards, she's like, now read
Oh.
the Bible and write stories about the Bible. And I was like, man, I hate it here. Like, but it made me funny.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you got the perfect amount of trauma actually.
Yeah.
Like one step in either direction, like towards that book or towards the Bible, and you wouldn't you wouldn't be funny.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's like the Patrick meme where he's like stuck in between them, like, what do I do? On my whole fucking childhood. It was like be a mass murderer or be a devout Christian. And I was like, I'll just be a
Yeah.
goth.
Yeah, I'll just be a goth comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I growing up, like my best friend in high school and college, he was so Baptist and still is to this day. Like he like works for a Baptist church. He wasn't allowed to watch the Harry Potter movies growing up because
Yeah,
wizardry.
I heard about that.
Yeah, because apparently, like you can be so religious that like even just a depiction of wizardry is like, well, that's spiting God.
Yeah, you going to
Only
hell,
God can use
brother.
magic. Yeah.
For real.
And
Yeah. My grandma's a Jehovah's Witness, so like she felt the same way too, and she was like, all that's the devil. We couldn't watch Modern Family because they had a gay couple on it, and she's like, I don't want to see that shit. And I was like, well, Grandma, we don't want to go to the fucking tower, but we do that shit. So we're watching Modern Family, and you're gonna shut up, like for real.
So, I mean, did y'all grow up Jehovah's Witness then?
No. So my stepmom grew up Jehovah's Witness. I grew up Catholic. And then when my mom just like dipped out and was like, yeah, motherhood's not really for me. We went and lived with my dad and my stepmom, and then they raised us as Baptists. or like non-denominational, but basically just like Christian, all that shit. You know what I mean? That's big down here. Just the regular Baptist church. And then I was like agnostic and atheist for a while, and then I found religion again, and I'm a Hebrew Israelite, which sounds crazy, but basically I'm a Jew. And so like no one expects that.
Wait.
But like I'm actually pretty religious. So like me and JC, we like besties, you know?
Hold on. This opens up a lot more doors for me to ask questions about.
Yeah.
So
He's
you're
like the Gothic Jew that makes dick sucking jokes. Yeah.
and you
Walked
chose
into
to
a
be
bar.
Jewish.
Well, yeah, I guess. Well, no, not technically, no. So the way the religion works is that like we believe that we're descendants of the Jew people, you know, like we are
The
the
Jew
OGs.
people, hell yeah.
Yeah. So like I didn't make myself Jewish. By loving Jesus, it's a whole process. I can't get into it
So are those
because
the
You
people?
have to get jumped in.
you gotta get jumped in.
Are those
You
the
gotta
people
get
that have
jumped in.
the Jews for Jesus bus? Is that who you see driving around with
No,
that?
so okay. So my religion is like something I don't talk about often because it's kind of controversial. The more you dive into it, the more crazy it gets. But I'm like a watered
Like
down
all
Jew. You know what I
religion?
mean? Right. But I'm like the Baptist of the Jews. I'm like, yeah, me and JC are cool. I know Jesus is brown, but you know, I'm not going around hating white people. That's crazy. Like, come on now. So like if you ever seen like the black guys with the purple shirts with the gold tassels that yell at people in the streets of like Dallas and stuff, that's like my people. But
Wow.
like I'm like, y'all are crazy, but I love you, brothers.
Okay.
But
So
crazy.
you're not like changing your name or anything.
No. I'm stuck with this one.
Okay. I mean, you could definitely choose like a Jewish Israelite name.
Yeah, I feel like Rachel's pretty cool and Lopez is Mexican, so like, you know, I like that part. People
Yeah,
know I'm
you don't even
exotic.
really
If I'm
need
just
to
like,
change your name. You just change the pronunciation, and then instead of Rachel, it's Rachel.
right, yeah, I could do that. Or I could just like go by no
Raquel
name,
Flokis.
have people just introduce me as like a goddess and then worship me. Do that instead. If I was gonna
Okay,
change my
that's a
name,
different
I'm just
kind of
saying.
fantasy. That has nothing to do with being a Jew.
That's a whole different religion.
Well, I mean, I feel like reparations, you know what I mean? Like, give a little
Yeah.
back.
Okay, so
Damn.
I won't say that you chose to be Hebrew Israelite, but you did convert, right? You converted to Hebrew Israelite. Is
Kind
that
of.
fair?
It's not really a conversion. It's just like an awakening moment sort of thing. Like it's a lot of understanding. Like this religion is based on a lot of like facts, like unlike most religions, I
Okay.
believe. But like they have moments in history that they point out and like direct to the Bible and be like, okay, this happened here. These people are related to these people, so they're not just random people in the Bible. They're people in history, you know. With that being said, a lot of these people are brown, obviously, and so like the main controversy that we have is like that Jesus in church is white because like he's not. And the whole stigma of like false prophets and false idols is like so big in the South. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, you can't do this because you're worshiping something else, or you can't watch wizard movies because you're thinking about wizards and shit like that. But like you got some white man in the church, you know, and like you're spitting in God's face, in my opinion. So like it's a whole rabbit hole of things and craziness, but you know, I think that's kind of what makes me goth though, is like I choose to still be cool as fuck against my own religion while
Hell
being
yeah.
tight with Jesus. So
Hell
kind of
yeah.
like a spit in everybody's face.
Yeah. Okay. So you had an awakening to realize that you weren't that you were a Hebrew Israelite. How bad do you think Anne Frank would have had wished that she had an awakening to not be a Jew? If she just woke up one day and was like, I'm fucking German, hell yeah.
Yeah, right. That
Wow.
probably would have saved her life. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Probably would have, dude.
Probably would have saved her life. She would have been like, look, dude, I'm actually a Nazi. And then they'd be like, oh, brethren.
Yeah. Or she's like, I'm actually a Muslim. And then they kill her anyways because they didn't like them either.
They're like, she needs to skip the line.
Yeah, she needs to go straight to the front.
No checking. No checking.
She's somehow a Jew and a Muslim. She wants to tear herself apart.
For real. That's hilarious. It's fun.
I was just queuing you up for that joke. I had that joke in the back of my head for like 5 minutes. But no, that's super interesting though. I respect that a lot. I tend to respect people who choose their own religion more than people who are just kind of like, shoved into it from like the moment that they're born. Because then it's like, what are we doing? Like, you didn't have a choice.
That's a cop out. Like, you did that because your mom said no.
Yeah, that's mommy daddy. But I mean, we could get back to talking, more about horror stuff. You're goth. That's why you're here. When did you first you mentioned that you were a scene kid. When did you first like start getting into all that kind of stuff?
When I realized I hate my parents. No.
2 years old.
I was yeah. The second I was born into agony. No, I was like probably 13, 14, back when my cam was huge and shit like that. And so I was listening to a lot of that stuff. When I was trying to be seen or punk or emo, it wasn't really a thing. It was just a fucking train wreck. And then in the South, it's even worse because now you look like a hillbilly hoe and you look like you don't know how to do your makeup. So it's hard. And then I stepped away from it in high school because I wanted to, get laid eventually. So I was like, let's not do that weird shit. Let's try to be normal. And then I went to the Marine Corps and just was brainwashed. So the farthest thing from my mind was being an individual. And about like 2 years ago, I went through a breakup and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just be a bad bitch. And then I did, and I got too confident and started getting fat. So, fuck, I started wearing corsets.
Damn, I wish I could be a fat bad bitch.
Fat bad bitch.
That's all I've ever wanted to be.
You could just buy a wig and then get an OnlyFans, be like titty pics for the low. And then you'll have a whole fucking entourage of men.
Just have confidence, Jacob. That's all you need. Just be fat, happy, and confident.
Dude, if I had confidence, fucking like being a fat bad bitch would be the last thing that I did. Dude. I would be so successful if I had confidence. I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I would be fucking selling out theaters right now, dude. If I had any
my parents would be proud of me finally. I wouldn't have to do anything. They'd make it on the wall.
Yeah, dude. If I had confidence, my dad would have told me he was proud of me before he fucking died. But here we are. Jesus.
He's like, now I pray to the wizard man and he tells me he's proud of me.
Oh man. Okay, so you're recently once again goth. What is the goth lifestyle? Like, how is it any different than like any other, lifestyle of just a
honestly,
normal person?
it's really fucking not. Like, it's not at all. Except I'm way cooler and people just stop me and talk to me. But like my house looks like a grandma's house, just like any other girl that's obsessed with plants. You know what I mean? Like, I got old people furniture in here. I literally have a piano I found on the side of the road. Like, the only difference is I wear fucking white face, to appropriate the white man's culture. And I only wear black clothes. So that's the secret. You heard it here.
Holy shit, I'm goth.
Yeah, we should go goth, dude.
You guys should go goth. Actually, we should like do another video. I'll do a tutorial. We'll do our makeup together. And then we could start a little screamo video.
That's actually fantastic Patreon content. We will put that in our back pockets for later.
Yeah.
Perfect Patreon content.
You better not use any other fucking goth, I swear to God. I'll find them.
don't know it.
We don't know any.
Good. Cool. I think good. I was scared to be too saturated.
Yeah, that's rare. Like it's rare to find a goth adult. Like if we found another goth, it'd be a 16-year-old girl and we'd go to jail.
All right. All right. Thank you for telling me I'm a child. He's like, the things you do for fun make you a kid. But it's cool though. I'm just glad you're legal. I guess that's the cool part though, is that like I feel a lot younger. I do. Like I look at pictures of me when I'm 22 and I feel like I look a lot younger now. But I think it's just, from being happy and being yourself. That's really most of it. People think that we're all spooky and mean and shit, but we're just people who actually are living our lives the way we want to.
Yeah.
At what point does it end though? Because you never see any old goth people. Unless they just haven't gotten to that age yet.
So, like, there's the other side of being goth, like the depression. So we don't make it that long. Like, we expire pretty fucking quickly.
That's true.
Nah, but no, I've had people like tell me, like older ladies, they stop me and they'll be like, I used to dress like that back in the day, blah, blah, blah. I guess you just get tired, You don't fucking feel like picking out a cute fit every day. You're like, let me just put the muumuu on and go to Walmart and yell at some old people,
Yeah. Get a black muumuu.
Black muumuu. I'm gonna be in the fucking nursing home and a black muumuu throwing ass. No.
I actually played bass for Black Muumuu when I was in high school.
Black Muumuu. Yeah. You had a fucking cowbell and everything.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck, I had a question, but Black Muumuu made me forget about anything.
I was gonna say Black Muumuu, and what was the band I said at the beginning? Like going on tour together, something pussy. I forgot what it was now.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Pirate Pussy.
Pirate Pussy. That would honestly be a really good band name. I'm gonna patent that before someone can use it. So they gotta buy it from me.
Yeah, dude. Pirate Pussy and Black Muumuu.
In theaters now.
Yeah.
In theaters now. Put in select theaters. In cities around
all theaters. All theaters at your local high schools, streaming in the classrooms.
Yeah. Black Muumuu sounds like one of those weird serial killers, like the Black Muumuu has struck again this weekend.
Yeah. And everyone's like, how do you know that he's black?
Oh my god.
Statistically, it's a white guy.
Jesus, that's facts. I'd be like, oh my god, he's switching it up.
I remember the question I was gonna ask. Like, do you have like because there's like a certain genre of guy now who wants the big titty goth GF. Do you have any of these weird men approaching you, throwing themselves at your feet in the grocery store?
I feel like I could do an entire bit on things that guys have said to me, like just off the cuff. Like I had this one guy, he's like spit in my mouth, mommy, and I'm like, sir, you don't know if I have HIV or AIDS. Like that's insane. That you want me to just spit in your mouth? No, nice to meet you. How you doing? What the fuck? I've had many a small penis pics, never the big ones. I don't know why. You would think one of them would have a big dick. But no, never.
Jacob, stop sending pictures, man. Come on.
From all my accounts.
Right. No, all of the comics down here are pretty good. They're gentlemen. Never had any issues with any of them. It's just random weirdos on Facebook, really, just fucking being weird. One time, I don't know if you guys ever watched Powerpuff Girls. Mm-hmm. No Mojo Jojo, the monkey, he's got the head exposed, his brain, right? This guy sent me a dick pic that looked like Mojo Jojo. I was like, well, brother, you need to go to the hospital. It's like you're losing circulation somewhere and it's probably your fucking brain. Yeah,
he probably did that thing that he probably did that thing that like male strippers do where they put a rubber band at the base of their dick so they don't go soft.
Jesus, that's scary. I like how he knows this
Yeah.
from male strippers specifically. He's like my male stripper,
And I was gonna
who
say when you
I
were
hire regularly.
describing like the guy, you know, that wants the big titty goth girlfriend, why do I feel like you were describing yourself, Jacob?
He's like, I need a shot.
Well, not
He's like,
not anymore, but maybe once upon a time that was the kind of girl that I was into. You know, when I was a single lonely high school boy, maybe you know, back in the day.
And she's getting pictures sent to her of like tiny weird dicks. I'm like, it's Jacob. It's Jacob.
I understand. I fit the description, dude. I'm aware. It's not fucking me. Okay.
he's like, you would think, but it's not.
It fits your MO.
How do you think she booked this podcast?
For real. He's the one sucking dick.
Yeah, I am.
Get spots. Like,
how do you think he got on this show?
right.
Yeah, I'm sucking you off and sucking her dildo or whatever. That's gross.
We can make it work. We can make it work.
Oh Lord.
A blowjob's a
gross.
blowjob. What can I say?
I feel bad about myself. You are an artist as well, Rachel. Talk to us a little bit about your art, because your art is very spooky as well.
Yeah, so I do a lot of like surrealism. It's weird. I started out sketching and then I recently got into acrylic painting, and like a lot of mine are super bright pinks, bright purples, like eyeballs looking at the creation of life. I have like an astronaut eyeball looking out, and like it's all reflecting purple and pink onto him because that's just, I don't know what the fuck was going on in my head. I actually had a dream about it and that's why I painted it. Um, so yeah, I love doing art. That's actually like my passion. You know, when I hear you guys talking about comedy and stuff, I'm like, okay, that's y'all's fucking thing that's driving you forever. Mine is like my art, you know. I love comedy, but if I had to choose between like losing my voice or losing my hands, I would lose my voice in a heartbeat.
Wow. That's so poignant. My passion is actually sending small dick pics to people.
Yeah, he's like, it got really gay real quick. I didn't like that.
I'm allergic to genuinity or whatever that fucking
Are we
word
talking
is.
about our
Not
feelings?
that. Yeah.
No.
And are you a tattoo artist as well?
I'm apprenticing. Yeah, I'm apprenticing right now. So one day I will be, which will be fucking dope.
Hell yeah. We need to come to you for so much Patreon content, because me and Jason have had a fucking idea for a while of me getting an ass tattoo, dude. You gotta tattoo my butt, please.
I'll do it. We'll make it super ratchet too. We could do it in a weird, obscure location. Like, if I can make it look like you guys are gonna die.
Hell yeah. Let's just kill us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Let's just die.
It'd be so fun.
Best Patreon episode ever.
Right.
Oh yeah, dude.
Bum, bum, bum,
we live in infamy forever. Yeah, I want to get a Live, Laugh, Limp Bizkit tattoo on my fucking ass.
Oh Lord,
that'd be sick.
Come on, man. This is Live, Laugh, Limp Bizkit.
You could do that, yeah.
Just break stuff. You know what I'm saying?
On your ass.
Have you ever had just one of those days? Like
where someone
train.
Yeah, and you just want to plow into some guy's ass. that's
I'm gay. That's the bit. I'm gay. Oh man.
So when you're learning to do that, do you have to find people that are willing to let you practice on them, or do you have to use like oranges and stuff?
So like first you'll start off with like face skins, then you'll go to oranges, or you could do oranges with the face skins. Some people don't recommend face skin because it's so dog shit. But after that, you just gotta find homies that'll let you fuck them up for a little bit until you get good, because it's gonna look like shit for a minute.
And that I definitely need to. We need to fucking do this for sure, dude.
Hell yeah.
Because I will let you put the worst looking tattoo of all time on my ass.
Well, it's a big enough it's a big enough canvas, so you got plenty of room to work with.
No,
we can probably scratch out
Yeah.
doing some other place too.
No, surprisingly, like I am, for all intents and purposes, a fat ass, but there's not a lot of real estate down there because I am white. There's not a lot of ass.
He's got like a wisdom tooth ass, like the kind that looks like the bottom of an apple.
Like, have you ever seen? Have you ever seen like a gorilla's butt?
That's giving you too much. That's giving you too much. It's giving you too much. At least they have like some nice thighs to compensate. You look like a toad laying out.
Yes, I do have a toad butt. I definitely do have a toad butt. It's kind of crazy. Like there's no ass.
It's like
back
two
there.
chicken breasts together, just squeezing for dear life.
Yeah. When I sit down for too long, it is an issue. There's no padding. Like remember that episode of King of the Hill where like Hank Hill had to wear butt pads?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna ask.
me.
Do you have like Hank Hill butt? It's just like no. It's like legs that just turn into back. Like there's just no ass.
Yes.
Jesus
No, that's literally
Christ.
it. But somehow so much ass crack. My ass crack is so fucking long. I used to have a bit about it. How long my ass crack is. It goes like way further up my back than it needs to.
So, like you said that when you sit too long is a problem. Have you ever had like your gooch go numb? Like one time, this is TMI, but like my pussy fell asleep. I was just sitting down too long. I don't know, and like, it just fell asleep.
You just have to get up and punch it.
Well, I don't know how you fix that. So, like, I did get up, but I was like, "What do I do now?" So I just walked around a few times, and eventually it wore off. But I asked somebody else, I was like, "Have you like?" Gooch going to sleep, and they're like, "Nah, bro, you're weird." So maybe I should get that checked. Maybe I got bad pussy circulation.
Yeah, you need to get the rubber band out from around it.
I played bass for bad pussy circulation back in the 90s.
I'm really popping up. That's fucking funny.
My taint's definitely gone numb.
Okay, cool. Well, then that's not a little ass thing. I think that's just a normal thing because I got like 30 times more ass than you have.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, 30 times 0 is still 30. So, or
No, it's not. It's
0.
zero.
still 0. Jesus,
Wait a minute.
That's not Mississippi education.
I went to school in Vancouver.
I graduated at 10 because I stopped going.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. This has been a really fucking fun episode.
Yeah, it was.
We are 100% gonna have you back on this podcast like whenever the fuck you want to come back.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll say for a headliner.
What have you got going on, Rachel? Like what do you want to tell the people
do a
at home?
headliners episode with her. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll do whatever. But Rachel, what have you got going on that you want the people at home to know?
So I just did my first like paid gig ever at an art studio in Long Beach called Fifth World. Krangus hosted it, so that was pretty cool. I'm now gonna go to NOLA for November and do Hell Yes Fest because that was part of the winning for the roast battle. And then I got some art galleries coming up. I got some fucking bullshit work I gotta do. I mean, I do a lot of painting, and I have booths at Peter Anderson this year. Finally snagged that. Now, if you guys don't know, Peter Anderson is like super expensive to get into. It's $800 for like a 10x10 booth.
Jeez.
And then it goes up. Yeah, it goes up from there. That's like the outskirts. If you want a good spot, like it could be up to a few grand. But luckily there was a business that, it's a lot of money, especially if you're a fucking struggling artist, bro. Ain't got no money. I'm broke.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing comedy in my free time. I'm not making no money. But I did snag with a business. They're letting me rent out a 10x10 spot, so I'll still have a tent, and it's only $250. So fucking got me a deal. Super stoked about that. I want to try to do something with Krangus where we can have like some other show set up, maybe at this new location, Elephant in the Room. They do some booking through there. She has some shows set up there. But I kind of just want to try out some new things, get my life a little organized so I can spend the right amount of time on what I got to do. I think that's the hardest part about life in general. So
yeah. It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Don't tell her that. She's already depressed.
It'll kill itself. It might die. Be nice. No.
Well, what we got going on, Jacob?
Yeah, man. So we've got dates in Mobile and New Orleans coming up. Mobile, November 23rd at Cedar Street Social, and December 8th at Matt's Sports Pub in New Orleans. So yeah, if you guys are anywhere near those places, come check us out. We're going to do a Halloween themed Patreon special for this month for the Patreon. And man, I just got done booking a fucking killer month for November. I don't want to, announce anything yet because if those people don't get on the podcast, then I'll look like a fucking jack off like I always do. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for what's going on. So yeah, if you're not on the Open Micers train yet, fucking get on it, tell a friend, and subscribe to the Patreon.
Hell yeah. And if you want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. We're at openmicers.com, and of course Linktr.com/openmicerspodcast takes you everywhere you need to go. All the socials, ways to give us money, the Patreon, all that good stuff. And don't forget to go to brescoffeeco.com. Use the code OMPodcast at checkout for 10% off your order. We love all of you, and we'll see you right here next week.
The podcast over, my gooch is asleep.